And that's where that sense of jeopardy is. There's big-name teams in there who are fighting for results. But Chelsea lose to Arsenal, and Manchester City drop points at home to a Brighton side that you could make a very strong case should have won that, or did enough to win that game.
You can't emphasise anymore what Darren said about an opportunity. I watched Chelsea against Arsenal, and I thought they were really poor in every aspect. Obviously, they're very much missing Nicholas Jackson and Madueke, and obviously Cole Palmer didn't play, so they haven't got anyone to stretch the team, and then they haven't got anyone to control the game so as you can pass to these players who were doing so well at the start of the season. They didn't look like they were going to score yesterday. There's no way that you can be confident as a defender playing in front of that goalkeeper. There's no way, if I was sitting now, I can see what scenario, oh, Chelsea are going to do it because of this. So that, for me, if I'm Newcastle or Bournemouth or Brighton or anybody, I'm thinking this is the best chance we'll have, because I don't think Chelsea will make it. And
remind me again, how are Arsenal from corners?
Well, you know, we had to, you know...
Not bad, are they? Not bad.
We've had to upgrade and go... Instead of running to the back post, everybody now goes to the front post. But again, if you've got a goalkeeper as poor as Sanchez was yesterday, you're probably going to score goals like that, because, as Shay, we're speaking about it, that he should never be beaten with that. Should never be beaten with that. So you'll take it, though. You'll take it.
Can I do a little bit of geek alert? Since the start of last season, Arsenal have scored 11 times from corners, the first goal, and no other team has scored first. So more times the first goal from corners. And I think it speaks to their strength. At the moment, they don't have strikers, but they do have that ability to be able to find a way that maybe they'd lost for a little while and put their position in second place in jeopardy, but they seem to have found it.
Marino's come along at the right time at the moment, and he's kind of taken on that Kai Havertz role of scoring those goals and being that focal point for Arsenal and linking the play. He's doing it pretty well. And everybody could see we need forwards. We haven't got forwards. All our forwards are injured, but he's still getting it done. He's getting it done. It's not great, but I think it's brilliant that they're still winning those games. When you look at everything that's happened with Arsenal this season, they're still second. You know, we're still in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's a great effort, man. It's a great effort.
Not ideal performances from either goalkeeper, to be fair. And it was Sanchez who conceded. And in a Chelsea squad that has an abundance of goalkeepers.
Yeah.
The club certainly has access to a lot of goalkeepers.
Maybe.
And
the recruitment.
I don't know how they. I don't know how they choose between them. But
it's been a bit choppy changing recently. Jorgensen comes in. I thought he'd done all right.
Don't see anybody at their best a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jorgensen, I thought, should have had a longer run in the team, if I'm being honest, because Sanchez had a good spell of the season and made too many mistakes. That's why Jorgensen got his chance. I know he made one mistake at Aston Villa, but then played a couple of games after that, and then got dropped a couple of weeks ago for Sanchez. And Wrighty said he doesn't convince you, he doesn't fill you with confidence. And again,
I see so often, like, people say, don't mess about with goalkeeper.
No.
It's a specialised position. Why is that?
I was going to say the reason they say that is because it's a psychology thing. Because you need to be in that position, and you need the full backing of the management and the staff behind that. If you think I'm like that corner, for example, I need to, like you were talking before, get involved. Sanchez gets involved in something he shouldn't get involved in. If he's thinking I make a mistake here, I might be out next week. You've got motorbikes going off in your head as a goalkeeper, then that's the last thing any goalkeeper needs. So he needs to be nice and calm in his mind and feel like number one.
So when you're watching, you're the second goalkeeper now, watching him and you're watching what he's going through, when are you thinking, well, when am I going to get my chance?
Well, the worry now for Jorgensen is, for example, I had my chance, I made one mistake and I've got... So it's not good for him either. I don't know. Looking from the outside, and I don't like to knock goalkeepers because I still feel like I'm part of the union a wee bit. But as it looks like that it's a department in the summer, they'll have to maybe look at again.
But you're also best placed to analyse goalkeepers and to look at them and to give constructive criticism of them. But, you know, as Wrighty said, Sanchez shouldn't be beaten.
I think if we can look at it back,
do you think?
You know, you see this position. Look at his position now, Kelly. He's in the wrong position to start with. So
where should he be?
He should be at least 2 or 3 yards back towards the centre of the goal. He's wanting to get involved in a fight that he doesn't have to. So if I was his goalkeeping coach, I would sit him down this morning and go, Robert, what are you thinking here? Just take a couple of yards back and then you're in a good position. You can still come and attack the near post, or you can cover the back. If you roll it on, now he sort of gets involved, and even the Arsenal players don't even want to get involved in him. He's actually going forward to get involved in something he doesn't need to, Kelly.
Honestly.
And then he can't react. Watch this, he gets into the traffic he doesn't need to. And then if you see where his hand just misses the ball, if he's 2 yards back, I would nearly go as far to say he catches it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a simple decision that he's made wrong.
Kels, he's actually, Shay, he's actually, there's no Arsenal players
That's what I mean,
are
yeah.
trying to impede
It
him or
looks
anything.
like he's pushing his own players out of the way a little
He's
bit.
going towards a situation like Shay says that he doesn't need to. It's like you're only doing that when you want the referee to see there's people around me, watch out, they might be trying to foul me.
You played with the great David Seaman, and David Seaman would be the calmest man on the pitch.
Honestly.
He'd be sitting in the right position to start with, and if that's his ball, if not, he'll just stay out of it, and he'll just do that and go, right, what we're doing now. You know, he brings a calmness to the team.
But so you say about calm, Schmeichel's quite loud, quite vocal. Sanchez is none of those things. He's not calm.
Nope.
He's not loud.
Yeah.
What is he? How does he strike you when you see him?
I don't know. To be fair, Darren, sometimes he makes unbelievable saves. Like, he's got no right there, and some of the saves that any top goalkeeper in Norway, how's he saved that? It's a remarkable save. But the problem he has, he's making too many mistakes, and the top goalkeepers make the least amount of mistakes. And if you, at the very start, when he says, if you're going out onto the pitch and you're thinking, looking over your shoulder, thinking, what's this guy going to do today? I think that spreads through the team. It's not a good
And then you know what
thing.
else happens as well, Kels? So you've got a goalkeeper that you're scared of. That, you know, you don't know if he's going to say, he's going to let one or make a mistake. Then you've got strikers who are not scoring. So if you let in a goal, you're instantly thinking, well, we're not going to win this.
Yeah.
Because he might make another mistake, he might miss another chance.
Yeah.
It just completely demoralises everybody.
I mean, it has been the opposite for Arsenal in that they have been able to rely on their defence and on their goalkeepers so far, but maybe at times with the injuries have struggled to get the goals that their performances have merited. But even David Raya made a little bit of an error in this one. What
He
do you
was
think
lucky.
of
I
this?
mean, sometimes you need a bit of luck as well, Kelly, in goal. And I think David, if you see his reaction after, I think he knows he's got away with one here.
I think he says, wow.
He says, wow, yeah, and I don't know. I think you just see he goes down, and I've been there myself. Once this happens, Kelly, in the goal, you think that's a goal.
It's his leg, Kels.
And it's his trailing legs, and it's just, you're kind of blowing it wide at this stage. Because it's so close, you're going, please go wide.
Yeah.
And you can see he's right at the end, he's going, wow, what's happened there?
Yeah.
He's just, look, he's been brilliant, David Raya. In a sense, he's nearly opposite of Sanchez. He's had a fantastic season again. Some great saves, but again, he got lucky there.
That's concentration, though, Shay, because was his position right?
Again, he's gone down on that sort of one knee, and then when you go down in that position, you can't really move in the goal.
So you have to
if you stay
stay
more relaxed, he can actually move his feet in line with the ball, and I think that's probably what he done wrong there.
It's interesting to talk about the goalkeepers and the different seasons that they've had, and probably that's one of the major reasons why Arsenal and Chelsea have had different seasons. But Chelsea, of course, are still very much in the hunt for Champions League football, although not a huge amount of confidence from our panel as to the big names in Chelsea and Manchester City qualifying for the Champions League. But one of the teams who are really benefiting from their results is Nottingham Forest.
And as you said, Wrighty, they found a way, and they've got a set play goal again.
Which, judging by the way we were finishing today, it probably needed to be a set-piece goal. But again, the ball in from Martin Odegaard was something that, if we're going to really be critical about it, it should have been cleared. But in the end, they won the game, which is great. But I was a little bit more disappointed in the fact we've got to try and do more in respect of scoring goals. You know, because like once it's 1-0, Gaffer, as we all know, it's never done. But like we're just fortunate that Chelsea was so poor today again.
Yeah, no, very much so. I think they did enough, Arsenal. I think it was one of those performances where if you perform like that, they could have easily, against a better opposition on the day, probably would have lost the game maybe, because they were pretty ordinary themselves. But the set play has come up trumps for them. Slight change in what we said before. You know, they hadn't scored for some games now from set plays where they were very successful, and they just changed it. They all went to the near post, caught Chelsea out a little bit, and the goalkeeper started getting engaged in the players that were around him, which he shouldn't have done. And they end up, that's the difference between, no points and getting the 3 points today. And it wasn't a great performance from Arsenal, but they'll be absolutely delighted. Play that average and win. That's what you need at this stage of the season. Just to keep in that race, like we spoke before the game, you've got to still be in the race, just in case Liverpool do trip up.
Are you pleased with Mikel Moreno? Because, as he said, I haven't played as a striker since the age of 8. He's been asked to do a job, and he's weighed in with a few goals now.
He has, and it's been brilliant for us because, again, you've got somebody who's coming in and trying to fill a role, like we've seen Kai Havertz do so well. But what's good about Mikel Moreno in that area as well is that his touch and his link-up play is very good as well. And he is that focal point just in case you do want to go long. But again, the goal he scored today was because it came from a set piece. It's not like in the game he was like, as a forward, he was dangerous or anything, but he was a focal point in the body that caused them problems for us.
He's played there 7 times now in all competitions. He's got 4 goals.
Brilliant.
I mean, from a midfield player who's not played up there to, you know, it's totally foreign to him, really.
Well, it is really, but that's a massive plus for the manager. It's almost like the manager said, well, we'll see how he does. Might have to pull him out after 2 games, but he's affecting the game in such a positive way. Sometimes as a man, you think, well, that's another string to my bow.
Yeah.
And next time that happens, maybe next year possibly, oh, we can play him up front. He knows how to, he's done it before and he's done a really good job. And as Ian says, he's not a centre-forward really that you expect to be going on the back of people and getting in behind, but he does it in a very subtle sort of way. The header was a clever header, actually. I mean, that could have been a number 9 type of header, wasn't it?
The way he made the move for it as well.
I don't think he's just flicking that either to the back post, because he knows they've all gone into the near post. And I think the set play wasn't about making runs from there round the back and getting to the back post for a flick on. He actually guides that into the back post. I think it's a really clever header.
Yeah.
He's almost flicked his head at it towards goal rather than just a straight flick on so that you get a second ball. But we studied, you know, Nkunku's position there. He's just got to stay there, look over his shoulder. A centre-forward going back, not knowing what to do really in that position. As the front shield, you don't let anyone across the front. And what does he do? He just comes back towards the pack of players and he just gets in front. It's a great header.
Yeah, it is a great header, but again, you know, it's attention to detail from Nkunku's point of view, because the manager's put him there for that specific reason. And that's cost them the game. But again, you look at it, and I would say like Marino's movement off of Reece James was great movement, and the ball was perfect. Only because Nkunku didn't do his job.
Yeah, I think it was clever of Arsenal just to change, just have a little change up. That caught Chelsea maybe. We analysed Sanchez as well, getting involved in the players. Why is he going there? He's getting dragged across to the near post.
Yeah.
Look, he's pushing someone there. I don't know who's pushing.
Should be back on the line there, Gaff.
As a goalkeeper, Ian, I'm thankful that there's an in-swing and I've got no one round me.
Yeah.
So I'm coming away, I'm pulling away from them players. I don't want to get engaged in them. If like you put 3 players around him and it's going to be an in-swing, as a goalkeeper, you're not happy. Where he's thinking, really, I'm standing there thinking, yeah, great, I've got no one here. I'll come and punch that. I'll do whatever I need to do. He actually saves it if he's in the right position.
It was strange simply because, like you say, like the gaffer says, if you haven't got the players around you, like you got their player, then your player in front of him trying to mark, it's brilliant for you. And if you look where he is, he's got so much space here. But he's gone over there to push. You think to yourself, no, just come back here, because from where Moreno would have headed that, he probably would have caught it. Because it's such poor goalkeeping at this level. It's not good enough.
Also, Ian, no one does it. No one does it anymore. But you put a player on the back post, he clears it.
Yeah.
There's so many goals going the back post, and you think, why don't you just put one player there? You're defending your goal against the goalkeeper, against the
corner. Might as well do it. You could do it. Look.
Yeah.
You got Neto who could have picked up number 6. I know it's Gabriel, but if you've got somebody at the back, you should say, if you find yourself here, anyone, and the ball comes in down the back post, just as insurance. So from where you can see the player at the back there, whoever it was, there he is, number 4. Is that number 4? Number 6. Whoever number 6 there should have just backed off onto the back. Yeah, Levi Colwell.
Colwell should have
just go on the back post. That's natural as a defender. Once the ball's coming in, for you to just naturally go towards the goal so you can stop that from going in. A lot of mistakes there.
Yeah. Catalogue by the sounds of it, from Chelsea's point of view.
Yeah, they'll analyse that. I was watching, because I was watching the next corner, and then Nkunku goes in a better position, still square on, not on the half turn, which he should have been, and it was a poor ball in, though, but he clears it. Because he was in the right position in the front shield. No one gets across the front of you on that front shield. And if they're going to beat you, they've got to beat you over your head. So it's not a whipped-in ball. It's more sort of a floaty ball. Gives the keeper a chance, gives you a chance defensively. That's why you put a front shield in there. So he did the job a little bit better second half a couple of times, but it was really the delivery that was poor, rather than him actually being really switched on, looking at it at half time, someone showing him and saying, you've got to be on the half turn. You've got to see where runners are coming from. If you're square on looking at the taker, you don't know what's going on behind you. And, you know, they've got to put that right. If you put an attacker back there, he's got to do the job.
Yeah.
He's got to become a defender for that corner. You know?
Because like you said, and rightly says, which is a really good point, is even with the goal, if you look where Mikel Merino headed it from, he actually was bending down to head it. So it's not like we're talking about a ball that's coming. If you watch when he comes in, and Nkunku if he just goes to his left, he heads that back out for another corner or whatever it is. Because when you watch how low this ball is, by the time it comes into Merino, once they play it on, here we go. Right, look how low, he doesn't have to jump, look. He's actually bending down to get it. So it's an easy one to actually clear.
Just looking at that again, I think Merino looks to go on the back of Nkunku, and he sees Nkunku just backing off and then decides at the last second just nip in front. I think he saw a gap there, went for that gap, and then at the last minute he just nips in front.
Yeah.
And that's the timing of the ball delivering. Look, let's have a look from this angle. You'll see it. He's having those little 50-50 back.
Yeah,
look, he runs it.
space,
He's going in
now,
behind,
bang.
then he goes in front because that space is there.
Great movement right at
all
the
of a
depth.
sudden, you know.
Really good movement right at the depth there for him. All because Nkunku's in the wrong position.
Yeah. But that's instinct that you were saying that perhaps until he was put up there, we didn't know that he had.
Well, the thing is, what we've seen is that he's a very intelligent player, because even when you do watch him, when he's linking up the plays, the way he holds it up, by the time it does get to him, I watched it again when they play PSV, by the time he gets it, he's so composed and knows where he's passing it. That's exactly what Arsenal need in respect of keeping the ball up in that third, is something that we don't do well, because we haven't got a focal point. And he's the one, Kai Havertz isn't that player neither, where he links the play like Al Merino can do it. But Merino can do it in a way where you can get there, because he will hold it and you can come and join him. And then all of a sudden, we're playing a bit further up.
And the other players will play to that strength when he's up there, because it's pointless, like you said earlier, trying to play balls in the channels and all that. He's not that type of player.
He's not going to be going off the back. It doesn't suit Odegaard, who wants to play that little ball, but it might suit other players that know that he looks like he can protect the ball. And when there's a midfield player, if you had a striker that was always going to protect it, you could make runs, and you don't think, is he going to give that? I won't make a run, because if I go and he loses the ball or it comes off him, they're breaking, and now I'm wasting my energy. I've got to track him back. Ball into the front man, he's holding it up. You think, now I can actually support that play, and it goes to the next level then, and you're on the front foot. So that's important and that's what happens when the new player comes. You have to find that out. They didn't know that. Arteta's thrown him in up front, but actually the players are going, actually, he can play up there. We can make runs off him.
I know what you mean. 1-0's never comfortable, but today was a day where you never really felt Chelsea were going to trouble Arsenal.
You did. You just feel like you could see, like I mentioned at the start, where Cole Palmer's not playing, where he would frighten me, just like Bruno Fernandes frightens you, because they can do something in the game now. Again, you're looking at a Chelsea side without Cole Palmer, they look very tepid, especially without Jackson, without Madueke, and then even if they had a Neto as well, them three up front with that pace, with Cole Palmer behind them, it's a whole different scenario for Arsenal. And a scenario I'm really pleased we didn't have to come up with today. But again, you look at the way we were finishing as well. We should have done more to make it comfortable for ourselves. But Chelsea, they're not a million miles away. I think they need some experience in their team to help that young side. But then you do need something that's going to make sure that Cole Palmer can be able to express himself in the players that he's got around him.
They just looked a bit sort of rudderless. They had no rudder to their game. They had no guidance. They had no feel. You never saw them sort of having a spell in the game where they had a pattern of play and suddenly they took the ball away from Arsenal. Arsenal on the back. No, that never happened once, really. With the lack of experience, particularly in the back positions, you'd have thought Fernandes and Caicedo, those type of players, they've got to get get hold of the ball and take the game by we're under the cosh here a little bit. We're not playing well. 1-0. Let's keep the ball. Let's get back in the rhythm of the game a different way. We haven't got Palmer. We haven't got the players that we want up front. they're out, so we've got to slightly play different, and that never really materialised.
Gaff, I was a bit confused with their midfield because I didn't know, because Reece James was in there a
Yeah.
lot. So he's probably the 6. So next to Caicedo, or is he the 6? And then Enzo Fernandez. So I didn't know how they were going to. Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to try and progress the ball because they haven't got the pace up front. They haven't got the players to play it through the midfield. So it was just going to be a matter of time. And if Arsenal were more ruthless, we could have shown them up for what they were today, because they were poor today, Chelsea.